On this episode of Lapeef Let's Talk,
I find it insulting, and this is why I don't even, I mean, let me not get into my political beliefs, but like, yeah, I don't expect more from them. So like this whole thing is like, okay, whatever. Uh this is what people say, but a lot of us just eat it up and it works. So people do it. And if we want that to change, we have to start talking to each other and figuring out what we need to do different and demanding policy change, not just being excited and inviting someone to the proverbial cookout because they do something that we like. I'm not with that at all. Um, but yeah, I mean, representation is cool. Like it would be good for little kids to see, you know, black people in these positions, but as an adult I'm looking at it like, oh, okay, another thing. When are we going to get some like educational reform that matters? When are we going to get like these other things? So yeah, that's my opinion on it.
Damn, I mean, I'm liking Kayla and Courtney after this one. God dang, I thought y'all was gonna say something totally different. So I want to just salute you ladies for just having an open mind and open perspective. So, the key thing, I mean, it's hard to say, but I'm totally along with Kay and Courtney.
Why is that hard to say?
You say Kayla.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kayla and Courtney. Because which is what it was. It became apparent when Kamala Harris wasn't qualified for nothing, but just based off of race and just based off being a female, she was put in that position, and then it turned into something else. What you will see now is it turned into these new equity policies. And then no longer is it the best person for the job. No longer is it equality. It's about equity. It's about proportionate representation. And in my sense, what I take from this is they doing this to fuel this so-called black gender war. He's putting these positions. He's sitting here putting all these women in these positions to try to fuel a black gender war, because if the black race is fighting against each other, guess what they're not fighting against? They're not fighting against the system. So if just all you got to do is just look at the moves, read the equity policies, read how they explain proportionate representation, read how all of these things that it's holding black people back, because most of the stuff we talk about online right now is what? Is black men against black women. That's ruling the whole airway, and we're not paying attention to nothing else. So I'm glad that women stand up and say, hey, look, you know what? It's insulting to me for you to sit here and say, before you even go through anything, you want a black vice president female. You want a black woman in Supreme Court. So you're telling already that she's not fully qualified, because if she was fully qualified, just let it happen.
But even if you let it happen, because of historic, there's no way that no one's gonna like point that out. It's like a Barack Obama president. Oh, we don't need to talk about the fact that he's black, even though this is the first time this has happened in the history of the country. Like, people are going to talk about it because it's a historic moment. If there was multiple other people that were already black in the Supreme Court, and he was making this specific pick to position himself or blah, 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 whatever, then that would be one thing. But this is, whether we like it or not, it is a historic moment that will be like documented.
Well, see, I think that's the problem.
Did you hear what happened with the mayor in Chicago? The statement she made, Lori Lightfoot.
I don't.
Well, she just pretty much saying that she was only going to do certain things for black women, right? And this has been going on for a while. And like I said, all I tell people is read the equity executive order by Joe Biden, and then you will start revealing. Ask yourself, what is the purpose of this? It's not based on the best person available. It's based on, I'm going to put this person here for optics. So now when you have your first vice president as a black woman, do you want everybody to know that she was placed there because of she's a woman and she was black, or she was there because her merits? The same with the Supreme Court justice.
Of course, it's about merit. Yeah.
Well, this is the problem that we have, because we can't say, well, this is so historic and celebrate it's being the first black anything if we already know it's going to be black.
Facts.
It's not a surprise. He's been talking about this for almost a year. So it's nothing for us to celebrate if we already know you just picking a token. It's something that we should check his ass on and be like, no, you're not going to continue to pander. For the whole 2 years, you've lived a lie.
He's been pandering from the beginning, though, Courtney, and not y'all, right. But y'all, like, you know, general, have been behind him. I mean, people still vote for him, and he told y'all that y'all wasn't black if y'all didn't vote for him. A white man told you that you wasn't black,
right?
But do you know who
put? And nobody. I was outraged, and nobody said it, and everybody was like, "Oh," I'm like, okay. Like,
but you know,
it's a part of his plan. It's a part of his agenda. He's been doing it. It clearly works, so he's gonna keep doing it.
And this is why we're here now.
No, but see, this is the point, though. It only worked for black women. Black women was the only one fool. Black women was pushing this.
Pushing what? His election or this nomination?
No, they was pushing his election.
Black people in general was. It wasn't just a slew of black women marching on Selma for his election. It was black people.
If you look at the stats, it
was men and women.
Joe Biden compared to black women, and you will see what I'm saying.
Well, you have to understand that usually there's an influx of black women voting over black men. Period.
Yeah, so because you can't vote if you're a felon.
Yeah, so it's always an influx of women voting anyway, as far as within our community. But at the end of the day, black people was pushing for him, and that's your right. Great, vote for whomever fits your narrative and what you want to see in the future. Cool. But what I'm saying is that it has showed and proved that he has done stuff to pander to us, and this is just another thing. But it's clearly blatant, and we can't celebrate. Well, we about to have a first black something when he's already planned it. This lady could work at Chick-fil-A talking about she's going to be the first Supreme Court judge. Lady.
Shout out to AOC.
What is her resume? Does anyone know, like, a quick, like?
Well,
it's
not. Honestly they don't have the lady yet.
You didn't pick nobody. It just they got a whole bunch of black women. They said that because he said that, these are the black women that would be. So he just did something real generic. Say, hey, we're gonna have a black woman,
and he like put that out there. That's not like a secret.
No, it's not
like
leaked. No, that's what he put out there.
He put that out there. He said, "Whoever I pick, she will be a black woman."
Yep, that's what he's been talking about today. Kay, what are your thoughts about this?
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that these positions should be appointed based on merit and like qualifications and whatnot. I don't know who the woman will be, but I do know that politicians pander, like that's their job. I don't expect anything more from a politician. They tell people what they want to hear, and then that's it. They campaign, and then they say they're going to do this, say they're going to do that, and it doesn't end up that way. So in terms of him choosing, like saying straight up, like, regardless, I'm picking a black woman. Like Kayla said, I get it. Representation matters. And I agree that representation matters. It's good, and so on, blah, blah, blah. But I think this is just another one of those things, like when Hillary Clinton said she carries hot sauce, like, but my thing is, and when that one other dude that was the one other guy that was running, I forget. The one other guy that was running, man, I forget his name, but he was like on stage.
Corey?
He was on, no, he was running for, he was like trying to get into the presidential race. He was on stage with like Juvenile. Like, my thing is, like, for the 99 and the 2000, like, it was
my vote.
It was a whole thing, like. And I think a lot of politicians try to appeal to Black people in a certain way. And honestly, I find it very insulting that you think that you're going to appeal to us based on you dancing on stage with a rapper, based on you saying you eat hot sauce, based on you saying you're just going to appoint some Black person somewhere. I find it insulting. And this is why let me not get into my political beliefs, but like, yeah, I don't expect more from them. So like this whole thing is like, okay, whatever. this is what people say, but a lot of us just eat it up and it works. So people do it. And if we want that to change, we have to start talking to each other and figuring out what we need to do different and demanding policy change, not just being excited and inviting someone to the proverbial cookout because they do something that we like. I'm not with that at all. But yeah, I mean, representation is cool. Like, it would be good for little kids to see, you know, Black people in these positions. But as an adult, I'm looking at it like, oh, okay, another thing. When are we going to get some like educational reform that matters? When are we going to get like these other things? So yeah, that's my opinion on it.